can ask me all of the type of questions that you want in regards to the Commanders, the NFL, or just the whole entire sports world. You can email me now at juangottibusiness@gmail.com all of your questions. And once we get enough feedback, the first episode will be airing. Wait a minute, girl, can you slow down? Wait a minute, girl, what's the rush now? I wanna introduce myself to you. My name is one-on-one guy, you to prefer nouns. I like the way you put your fists together. I like the way you do your hair in the morning. I see why all the boys want you, girl. YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here. We enter the Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with some more Washington Commanders pre-draft talk. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are 7 days away from the NFL draft. What's going on next Thursday night, you may ask? If you haven't been paying attention, I will be going live on the channel for the first round of the draft with my guy Pedro Schmidt. Last time we did it on his channel, and y'all saw our reaction to the Jahan Dawson pick. Well, first the trade back and then a Jahan Dawson pick. This year, same thing, but just on my channel. So I hope to see y'all over there. We're 7 days away, literally next week. Today is Thursday, so next Thursday, we're going to see who the Washington Commanders add to their team. They had a press conference today, that being Rivera and Martin Mayhew, and there was some things said that was interesting. The reporters asked them about a plethora of things, including Chase Young's 5th-year option, obviously the sale. What do they plan on doing as far as, 16? Is drafting a running back on the board. Like, it was a lot. So let's first start by talking about the biggest thing, the owner news. This is pretty much the first time that I seen Ron Rivera address the owner sale publicly. Maybe it was somewhere else, but I just haven't seen it. This is the first time I heard him say it, and he pretty much said the ownership sale is pretty much out of our hands. Like, we have nothing to do with that. We have nothing to really say about that because we're not the ones involved in it directly. He said that until it's done, he has nothing to say. Then they asked him, has he spoke directly to the Hearst group, and he said no. Like, he said, again, I'm not the one that's involved in the selling, bro. Like, at the end of the day, I know Ron Rivera had a lot of power under Dan Snyder. You know what I'm saying? But he's not the owner, bro. He's not the owner, ladies and gentlemen. He's just the coach. So he's not going to be the one that's going to be involved with talking to Josh Hurst until he is in the building and he is the one that is officially the new owner. Then they start to get into draft talk. They talked about what is the plan moving forward with the signings of Andrew Wiley and Nick Gates, and obviously having some other talent on the roster, and Sam Cosmi, and still having Charles Leno. Is drafting a tackle in the first round off the board with allowing those moves and bringing in Sampson. Martin Mayhew. They pretty much danced around every question like they often do. You know, they don't really answer it head on. They just try to talk around the question without showing their hand, and as they should do. But as a fan, it makes watching their interviews and press conferences pretty rough because they don't really say nothing. You gotta always read between the lines, which isn't a hard thing to do. But it's like, bro, just, some of the questions, you don't necessarily have to be like that, but I understand why they're like that. But they pretty much just danced around it. Like, instead of just saying, no, it doesn't take it off the table, or yes, it does take drafting the tackle off the table in the first round because we feel like we have a talented group. He said, well, we got some versatile guys. This is Martin Mayhew. We got some versatile guys that allows us to do a lot of different things. Nick Gates was able to play center and guard last year. Obviously, Andrew Wiley was able to play guard and tackle. So we got 3 guys. We brought in 3 offensive linemen from 3 playoff teams last year, so we feel really good about where we're at. That's what he said, that man Martin Mayhew. And he wasn't wrong, you know, but I definitely would have preferred them to just be straight up. But again, I understand why they're not going to show their hand, because they're in a position to where they have a lot of options. They could either select somebody at 16, they could either trade back. You know, they got a lot of things that they could work with come draft night. So I understand it, but it definitely is a little frustrating being a fan because you want to know so much, right? Then he was asked about selecting a running back in the early rounds. They asked him, you know, the running back position is devalued when it comes to drafts and also second contracts. And obviously this is a good question because Antonio Gibson's on his last year of his deal. So they asked him about drafting a running back, and they again said drafting a running back is not off the board. That is something that we actually have been looking at, and we definitely don't want to close the door on that. I can go out there on record and say they're not drafting a running back in the first round. If they draft Bijan Robinson at 16, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. And Bijan Robinson's going to be a hell of a talent. Trust me. He's going to be really good for whatever team he goes to. I'm not saying that at all. He's going to be really good. The thing is that we have other needs that we need to address and other places that we should attack. And we still got Brown Robinson, obviously Antonio Gibson for this year. So it wouldn't be smart. But according to my Mayhew, drafting running back is not off the board, you know. Then they asked him about the quarterback position because, as we know, Washington has interviewed, you know, Hendon Hooker, or talked about, you know, meeting with Hendon Hooker and stuff like that, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. So they have been, you know, seeming to be interested in this quarterback draft class. They talked about, the reporters asked me, was like, since you were so high on Sam, you know, Sam Howell, and you feel like he's a really good talent, you know, why are you interviewing so many quarterbacks, or why are you still interested in the quarterback position in the draft? And Ron was like pretty much saying, like, you never know what can happen. We are comfortable with our quarterback room. We really are. Sam Howell, young talent. Jacoby Brissett arguably coming off of his best year. That's what Ron Rivera said. I'm not sure if that's the case with Jacoby Brissett. I gotta look at the stats and stuff like that and look at how he performed last year, really, because I didn't really pay attention to Jacoby Brissett like that. Man, it's Jacoby Brissett, no disrespect, but I didn't pay attention to him, so I don't know if he's coming off of his best year or not. But to be honest with you, that means nothing to me because Carson Wentz was coming off of a pretty solid year, and he was bad, you know. And then on top of that, Jacoby Brissett is horrible, man. I don't want him to be I don't want him to play. He's a good, you know, veteran presence in the locker room. He's a good mentor for Sam, but as an on-field talent, he is not good, bro. And I hope he doesn't have to see the field. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think Washington is interested in drafting a quarterback. Clearly, you know, if Hendon Hooker somehow fell to the second round, I could definitely see Washington selecting him, bro. Now, how would I feel about that? I would kind of be like, you know, that's a little too early for me, for my liking, because if you're all in on Sam, be all in on Sam. You know, so drafting Hendon Hooker is going to allow you to, have a backup and stuff like that, but that's still early to where Sam Howell could feel threatened, and you telling him he's all in on him, but then you go ahead and get a guy like that. You don't want to have any kind of threat to your young quarterback if you're giving him the keys. Now again, I'm a person that believes in you can't let nobody, especially at that profession of a quarterback in the NFL, you can't let nobody get underneath your skin, player or fan. So if you're not tough enough to block out the distractions, then you don't need to be in the NFL. But then again, it's also like I just said, you don't want to even put your young quarterback in that position to even have a sense of feeling uncomfortable. You don't want that. So I definitely feel like drafting a quarterback is going to be something that we do. Hopefully in the later rounds, though, like not second round or first round. That would be crazy. Maybe Dorian Thompson-Robinson or Stetson Bennett or somebody in the later rounds. That would be great. Or I wouldn't even mind Max Duggan. I know a lot of people aren't fans of Max Duggan, but again, this is a guy that could just come and be a third round this year. Third stringer this year. And then, Jacoby Brissett can groom him into becoming a new second backup quarterback. So I definitely would not mind bringing in a quarterback, in the later rounds. Then they also was asked about Chase Young and the 5th-year option. They was like, have you made a decision on that? Ron was like, we'll tell you May 2nd. You know, and then they started to be like, they was like, well, are you saying on May 2nd you'll tell us a decision is made or what? And he's like, yeah. Well, he's like, we'll tell you May 2nd. And then John Connor was like, well, so if today was May 2nd, what would your answer? And then they started laughing. So it seems like they are still thinking about making, still making a decision on Chase Young, whether they want to pick up the 5th-year option or not. I firmly expect them to do so, though. That it would just be foolish to not do that, because you're just like cutting off yourself 1 year. Whether you even keep Chase Young or not, you still have him for 1 more year of service. So you should just take advantage of that. You should use it. There's no reason not to. Like, unless Chase Young is just terrible, and you don't expect him to be good at all, then okay. But I don't expect that from Chase Young. Yeah, Chase Young may not be the generational talent that he once was coming out of Ohio State, or once was, supposed to be coming out of Ohio State. But I don't expect him to be just straight up trash. So I would pick up the 5th-year option because that allows you to have 1 more year to see whether you want to re-sign him or not. And if you don't, you had 5 years, really 4, because 5, because not 4, because last year don't count. I was gonna count last year. Cause last year really doesn't count because he played 3 games. So you had 4 years to figure out whether you want Chase Young or not. And if you don't feel like he's the guy, then let him go. But yeah, at least you used your contract all up and not left 1 year out on the table, because I feel like that would be foolish to not pick up his 5th-year option. But it was a lot more said, but those were the main topics that I personally wanted to cover. If you would like to watch it on your own, it is on the Washington Commanders YouTube page, 24 minutes worth. You're not going to get a lot out of Ron Rivera and Martin Mayhew. Martin Mayhew more so is willing to talk, but Ron Rivera is the guy that's kind of like, hey, Martin, chill, don't say too much. So to me, you're not going to get a lot out of it, but maybe you pick up on some things that I missed. But that was my overall thoughts. It was a lot of things said, a lot of important things said, a lot of huge things said that we have to keep an eye out for come draft night. So let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. As always, me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. See you guys next time. I'm out. Peace. Cost me 1 time, that's gonna get you pop. Get you poppin'.